Hello. If you're not a guitar nerd, my name is Kevin Dillard. I am a professional full-time musician and author living and working in Columbus, Georgia. I've also been a full-time professional wrestler and mixed martial artist and a little bit of everything else, jack of all trades, husband, father, single parent, brother. And this is August the 4th, 2024. And in another 4 days on August the 8th, I'll be 56 years old. And back in 2019, just a few days after my birthday, on the 15th or so, I was diagnosed day 1, stage 4, and told 6 months or less. And I was told there's no cure. And guess who won the pony? You're the only person on the planet with this really rare lymphoma. And so after I process all that, I go and I talk to my girl at the time and I let her know, and I sit down and I talk to my kids. And then I go and I stooge it off to my little brother, so when I go and talk to my mom in a few minutes, he can put her back together when I have to leave and get back to Georgia from Alabama. And I went to 3 different hospitals and they all told me the same thing. Sorry, there's no cure. You're stage 4. It's non-responsive to any chemo regime, and because it's a lymphoma and it's blood-borne cancer, radiation isn't an option. And after a few days of being diagnosed here in Columbus, Georgia at Amos Cancer Center, I met with the head guy there, Dr. Nukla. And he asked me if I'd be willing to be interviewed and go to Emory in Atlanta and be part of a clinical trial, or possibly be put in a clinical trial by one of his mentors, an awesome lady named Dr. Christy Blum. Her and her husband specialize in all of these different weird exotic lymphomas and leukemias. And so I go there, and eventually I'm to start chemo. I get a heart catheter and heart port installed here in Columbus. And I'm to go to Emory and start being part of a clinical trial and be a lab rat. And the only thing I can think about is what happens when this isn't some old white guy and it's a kid, it's a young person who's supposed to have their whole life in front of them. So if I've got 6 months or less, let's learn what we can from this. And I thought it was kind of funny at the time. They said the whole protocol was 7 months, and I'd been given 6 months or less. So I started in Emory on this thing called REPOC, which is like a really nasty chemo. It's 6 or 7 different medications all mixed into one. And I did 2 12-hour bags a day, 24 hours around the clock for 5 days on, 2 weeks off, 5 days on for 7 months. And in the meantime, my little brother Joel had fallen out at work during the COVID lockdowns with pancreatic failure, and there were no beds for him. In Montgomery and UAB and Birmingham didn't have a bed for him, so I got word when I was starting chemo that they were airlifting him to Emory. And I found out that when I was put in the Winship Cancer Tower on the 9th floor in BMT, or bone marrow transplant, a nurse was nice enough to let me know that he was being admitted on that building's 5th floor in their intensive care. So either way, definitely not good. So I had visits where I'd have a whole floor full of neighbors on a Tuesday, and on a Thursday have no neighbors because everyone had passed. You know, when you have to sit down and talk to someone and tell them you got 6 months or less, and those days get real finite. Sorry, trying to keep it clean. Stuff gets real. It gets real quick. So there'll be a whole bunch more videos on a lot of this and all the other things I've been through, but I'm sitting here today. Last week was the 4-year anniversary of having my my heart port taken out. I'm 5 years diagnosed, coming up in a few weeks. I am 4 years clear. On top of this cancer, I was diagnosed with a double Y chromosome genetic mutation, which accelerated the cancer. So it's actually, if you're curious, it's a large diffuse cell lymphoma with a double Y chromosome genetic mutation. So I'm part of a study for that particular cancer, as I'm the only living tissue version of that cancer that they had at the time. And I'm also in a study at Emory for people with genetic mutations because I have the double Y chromosome Superman Wolverine gene, which actually caused my cancer to hyperaccelerate to the point where my tumors were doubling every 40 days. But through all of this and through a whole bunch more that we'll talk about later, I'm 4 years clear to the day I was told that I have 6 months or less. So that's 4 times 365 to the gravy and to the cheddar of days that I'm not supposed to have. And I had to have those talks with people that I care a lot about. And in the interim, I lost people that I care a lot about. I used to be a brother. But first of all, I promise you, no matter what you're looking at every day, whoever needs to hear this, I promise you, it could always be worse. I know that's a cliche, but it'll be a good day no matter what. When people say, God bless you, I have to reply, He already did. I got today. And that's real. Somewhere somebody's having a talk with someone they really care about, and they don't know it's the last time they'll ever speak. Somewhere this morning, someone put a child in the ground. Between that cancer diagnosis and right now, I've been homeless, lived out of my car, showered at the gym, showered at work, gone from having nothing to having this home, having a nice car. I've been blessed to do everything the 8-year-old me hit his knees and asked for, from music to pro wrestling to martial arts. So if my life turned off right now, like turning off a faucet, or if the blessings turned off right now, I've gotten more than my share. I've punched above my weight for the last 56 years. But I also want to tell you, despite all that with the cancer, 3 broken necks, C3, 4, C5, 6, C6, 7. The first one leaving me paralyzed from the neck down when my youngest girl was only a few weeks old, and they told me I'd never walk to live. They told me I'd never walk again. Through all of that, through everything I've been delivered through, me, myself, and I have cost me more in wasted time from fear, doubt, procrastination, self-loathing. I have cost me more by my own hand than anything anyone ever did to me or anything that my Lord has ever delivered me out the other side of. I'm to the gravy 4 times 365 days when I was told I had no more days to live. I'll make sure I tell this story to at least one person every day. I will not waste a single day that I've been gifted. Doesn't matter to me what you identify as, what you pray to, what you believe in, or what you don't believe in. No matter what, it's going to be a good